Hey everyone, this is Rob.
Hey, Michelle.
And welcome to Bunebape, your weekly podcast and everything you need to know about old school or RuneScape. All right, so this week up on the docket, of course, as always, we'll be starting off with our usual, telling you what's been up with us this week, what we have been doing, including maybe even doing and making some content.
Ooh, you'll hear about it.
Yeah, so we'll be talking about that, and then we'll be going right into this week's updates. There's been a couple blogs that came out, and they're actually pretty big. There's some stuff that we've been
Huge.
anticipating for quite some time.
Literally half a year.
So we'll be going into Desert Treasure 2, a pretty exciting development on that front. So
Yeah.
we'll be going over all of the rewards that are being pulled currently for Desert Treasure 2. If you have not seen some pretty strong items in the making. So
Definitely.
we'll be looking at that, the more finished product, including a really cool new axe that we've never seen before. And then also we'll be going into another blog, which is going to be the actual update for this week, and that is Forestry, Way of the Forester, Part 1,
Nice.
specifically. So also, if you missed it, Michelle actually already came out with a video kind of setting you up.
Spoilers for my account update much.
Yeah. But so if anyone is still super unsure of what Forestry is, Michelle
Or if you
does...
just want all the info in one place, I made like a 10-minute video just going over it.
Yeah, it's just a quick little video, and it tells you all the events that you can expect, rewards, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you can check that out over on our YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, you can also feel free to ask questions. That'll be included in our Q&A at the end of this episode after we finish the updates and stuff like that. You can feel free to ask us on any of our socials, which you can find pretty much anywhere. Bunebape and Bunebape OSRS.
Including in the outro of this episode and down the description.
Yes, and also feel free to join our Discord at discord.gg/Bunebape, and there you can feel free to jump into any of the channels, hang out, talk about random games, including or not including RuneScape, and also have a chance at getting a bond every week.
Yeah, and join us on our movie nights, which we usually do twice a week.
Yep, and there you can also find the questions channel if that is your desire.
Yes.
But before we get into any of that really exciting stuff that we have this week, Michelle, how's it going?
It's going well. You already spoiled one of my huge things this week.
Yeah, it was huge and massive.
It actually was huge and massive.
No,
'cause I made a
it
video.
was. Yeah, it was good.
I made a video just talking about everything about forestry, which basically we're going to be going over again today. But you know, all those times on the podcast where we're like, we're not going to go into numbers because that doesn't go well over audio. I show numbers on the screen. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, numbers on the screen,
Mm-hmm.
Michelle talking, her character actually playing the game,
Imagine.
and not just the same reused RuneScape footage that I use every time
Do you use the same exact one?
Well, yeah.
I should upload mine because I took like 2 hours today playing forestry as a background. Maybe we could do that for this video.
I'm sure longtime watchers have already noticed, but yeah, I just
They
use
probably
like
just don't even look.
I just use hopefully not, because I am expecting that, because I just use the same like 5 to 6 hours of footage like in different places over and over
Dude,
again.
I was literally thinking about that yesterday, and I was like, how much backup footage does this guy have?
No, yeah,
Not a lot, apparently.
It takes up a lot of storage, so I was like,
No, it
I'm
does.
just gonna keep what I need, which is not a lot apparently.
I'll
Because
start uploading some of mine.
yeah, one day eventually we'll do a like video version of this podcast that'll be actually interesting to look at. But until
With
then,
us,
then
ideally.
you just get this, which
Yeah.
is really old content, but it's okay.
I should say for anyone who's like, oh, what, with you guys? This is like a very long time in the future.
Yes.
How our apartment setup is right now, we cannot do that. So we would have to literally move.
Yeah, possibly. But anyways,
yeah.
what else?
So I made that video going over everything, and it's actually doing really well. It has like 6,000 views.
Yeah.
Which is not a lot compared to like the big like content creators, but that is a lot for us.
Yeah.
And we hit
Well, I mean, it's a lot for Michelle.
Okay, well, yeah, his New World one's got like 150K. But for RuneScape videos, that's doing pretty well. It's
Yeah.
probably like in our top 10 RuneScape videos ever now.
Possibly.
Yeah. And we hit 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. I don't know if you saw that.
I did.
Yeah, super exciting stuff. I actually made another video that I'm going to be putting out as soon as we're all done recording the first half of this. And by half, I mean 30 minutes because it's kind of late. I'm making another video and just an event guide for all the forestry events.
Yeah,
Just
so
like a
if
quick
you
4-minute guide.
Want a little bit more of an in-depth look at the events and how to do them and what you can possibly get from them, then make sure to check that out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a pretty quick video, right?
Yeah, it's literally like 4 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah. But super excited about that. I've still been making my shorts per usual. I'm still a week ahead on my shorts. Like, I'm killing it. I've been having a lot of fun editing. But at the same time, like, because I've been having a lot of fun editing, it's getting a little bit like when I'm not editing, I'm like, oh my God, I need to be editing.
Yep.
Which is not good. So tomorrow, Thursday, I'm going to try and like just not make anything for the day and try to chill. Because I'm getting weirdly stressed about it sometimes. Like, I feel like I'm not doing enough.
Yeah.
Even though I'm doing a lot. Like,
yeah.
I've been doing video stuff for like 3 to 4 hours a day and I stream.
Yeah, it can be difficult sometimes. I remember when I used to make videos on a separate channel a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
There would be times where I would play video games for like 8 hours, maybe even 10 or 12, just to get enough footage for like 1 10-minute video at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just took all day. It actually takes all day to do sometimes.
Exactly.
So.
Like today I did Forestry for almost 2 whole hours just recording that. And then I started the process for working on the video, which took like another hour and a half.
Yeah, that's actually pretty fast. Usually it would take
me...
me...
it's only a 4-minute long video.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Usually it would take me like 10 times as long as the video is to actually edit it because...
Yeah, the editing took me a while. I feel like... So my video yesterday did well. I don't want to get too excited about this one, and I'm hoping it does well, of course. But I think regardless, I like my editing on this one more because I was able to spend more time on it. Yesterday, I was literally 20 minutes late to the stream because I was still finishing up that video.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I still obviously put editing in, but this one was more fun for me.
Yeah, so if you are thinking about watching one or the other video, maybe...
YouTube.com/Bunebape.
Maybe just the new one because it's apparently better.
Well, I mean, they're 2 totally different videos.
You're right. Just watch both of them.
Yeah, it's a guide and then it's like an informational video.
Yeah.
But anyway, other than like content stuff, been seeing a lot of content on stream because we've been rolling in purples this week.
Wow, rolling.
I don't know. I was thinking like rolling in piles of money.
Oh.
But it's just a bunch of like sarcophagus.
Yeah.
We're just like banging our bodies
That
on.
reminds me of Scrooge McDuck.
I was thinking of him.
Yeah, I always thought about how he's like, every time I saw him, even as a kid, I'm all like, all right, cool, you're jumping into a pile of metal. How are you not dead?
That's me with the purple sarcophagi. Sarcophagi? Is that plural?
Sarcophages.
Sarcophagus. Just surrounding me.
That reminds me of
a little goose?
Well, no, whenever I first thought of like multiple mooses.
Hey, that's meese.
No, it was like I forgot what it was. It was a mount in World of Warcraft, and it was a moose.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Asmongold actually had a stream where he was like carrying people to get this mount for free or whatever. And he's like, I think he called it "Release the Meese."
Release the Meese.
Yeah, and I was like, that should be what it's called, but
that
I'm almost
like
certain it's not.
The cutest thing ever. I love it.
Yeah, it was fun.
But yeah, so purples this week we saw so many. I got a mask in my name at 310kc. That was another collection log slot, so super hyped about that. All I'm missing now is the shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we got a back-to-back ring on that one. You know what's weird is I didn't write down who got the ring, but I feel like it was me.
Yeah.
I don't know that for sure.
Honestly, I wish this was recorded where we can show video because it would be mind-boggling that you can read any of these notes.
Dude, my handwriting, I should upload a picture sometime like on our Instagram story and be like, my notes, by the way.
Yeah.
It looks like actually insane.
Like, I would say it'd be interesting to like take a video of you writing, but I don't think you're allowed to put like feet videos anywhere. Because clearly this was done with your feet.
I was so confused. I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah, you just like put like paint on your foot and that's how you made
I'll
this.
post a picture of my planner sometimes. You guys should see it. And then I just like write times down too. So like everything's written twice. One with time, one with how much money. But anyway, so I know I got a mask at some point. Was that this time? I don't know. But anyway, we also got a ring. The mask was worth 3.4 mil each, by the way.
Huge.
We got a body worth 30 mil. And then we got a back 3 back yesterday. That was a fang for 7.5 mil. Body in my name for 23 mil. And then a ring for 1.8 mil.
Yeah.
And we ended last night again on another body, 31 mil.
That's cool.
Yesterday I made like 70 mil. It was so cool.
I guess that's okay.
Yeah, I guess it's fine. But yeah, those were all like 360s to 400s. I like the 400s. Realized if people aren't jacked, I can't really do 400s. I can't be the strongest person there. I just can't. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Like the best person there, you know? I can't handle the stress of it either. Even stuff that I'm fine. Like Wardens, I'm like fine doing insanity now. Like I'm getting used to the last row. But as soon as I'm the last one left, it's like I just freak out, and you've seen how I get. I just walk under my own boulders over and
Yeah.
over again until I die.
It's kind of funny you say that because, like, if you think about it, it only took you, at minimum 250 hours. I mean, what are you at, like 500 KC total, right?
That was gonna be my other thing. I hit 500 KC, so I unlocked Icthren's Shroud too.
That was just a guess.
Yeah, that was a really good guess. Well, I
Yeah.
might have. No, you were asleep.
Yeah, that was just a
You were
guess.
definitely asleep. Yeah, no, that's Oh my god, that's a lot of hours in my life.
So, at least 250 hours to become comfortable.
I think my personal best time is only like 35 minutes.
Yeah, that's why I said I was being generous. At least 250, more likely 400.
Yikes.
Yeah, so that's a lot
Not
of
counting
hours.
all the deaths, over 500 hours for sure.
Yeah, a lot of hours to get used to a boss. But at
Holy
least
moly.
you can now say that you're kind of getting used to a boss.
I think that the shadow is just like actually making a huge difference having it. Like it slaps. It's
Well, yeah,
really good.
that's a big thing is like a lot of games, like people will program, obviously the devs will program like these like crazy fights. And then this reminds me a lot of like Diablo where it's like a lot of people just trivialize or mitigate a lot of mechanics just because they kill it so fast.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that doesn't happen so much in TOA, but
yeah,
it does help.
it is nice. Also, I feel like I've been getting more purples in my name since I got the shadow. And I don't know if that's because I'm doing more damage per game. Because before, like, I would go an entire month without seeing a purple in my name. And everyone else with their in-game gear would be getting all the purples.
Yeah.
Or if it's just because since getting the shadow, we've been running higher rates.
I'm guessing
And it's probably a little faster, too, because I hit harder.
A little bit of both of those,
Mhm.
and also a lot of bit of placebo or just happenstance.
Well, it's just weird because, like, 2 weeks ago, I got my first purple in over a month. And now I've gotten, like, 5 purples in the past week and a half.
Yeah, but I mean, you also said yourself just a second ago, you're not carrying. So it's not like you're getting so many more points than everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's not, I don't know if it, I mean, maybe, yeah.
It's just, I used to always be the leech, and now I'm only the leech sometimes.
Yeah, so like, no doubt you're probably getting a higher, higher points and doing more damage and also getting a higher percent chance to get loot. But, the difference between like 4.5% and 4.9% is like, sure, it's higher.
It's 0.4%, Robert.
Yeah,
It's
it's definitely a difference, but probably not immediately like that.
I'm very excited about it still, though. And I
Yeah.
also played a little bit of Zelda this last week. Haven't been playing this much the last few days because just been doing a lot of TOA and working on video stuff. And I already mentioned before, I'll mention again, I'm doing Nununella's bingo this weekend. It's her birthday. Shout out Nununella. Go watch her stream. She streams.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be partaking in that. So I haven't really had time to do other stuff, including the hardcore. All I've done is woodcutting and fire making.
At least you're doing something.
Yeah, I intend to start it like more seriously next week, hopefully.
Yeah, and it's a casual thing anyways, so.
Yeah, it's definitely a casual thing. It's not going to replace my main. But how have you been?
Okay. I cannot complain. Just been working a lot. Got a raise. Pretty
Yeah,
cool.
congrats. After like a month.
Yeah, haven't really worked there pretty much long at all. Shout out to unions. So
Yeah.
you just get a raise
We should just make it like it's
same
only
time every
you.
year. Yeah.
God, unions are so good.
Yeah, same time every year. So that's pretty cool. I did nothing to deserve it, but I got it. So that's all that matters.
Tell everyone about your video game conundrum this week.
Oh, it's not really a conundrum,
It was
So
an emotional roller coaster,
If
I'd
you
say.
if you were listening last week, I was playing a lot of Diablo.
You weren't playing Diablo last week. You were saying how you
I
hate Diablo.
wasn't.
You're never going to play it again.
Again.
Sorry, turned a
Yeah.
little country there. You got excited.
I said I probably wouldn't play it again, but I
He lied.
played it again this week. I played a decent amount in the hopes that I would force myself to like the game more.
Mm-hmm.
So I am trying to play the game in order to play with friends that are playing the game.
He wants to like it.
And no matter how much I can try and like tell them my side of the game that I experience it as, they still think it's a really good game, which fine, that's cool. You can have your own opinion, but I've gone back to what I said last week and probably not going to play the game again for a while because
Can't wait to hear next week if there's any changes.
I still do not think the game is a good game. Regardless of whether
You did play it a lot, though.
it's improved in where I don't dislike the time that I'm playing the game. Like I don't actively have a bad time playing it.
Yeah.
So I've gotten to a point where like I can play it and just realize it's a bad game in my opinion, and then that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I've gotten to like a better place, but there's still so much wrong with it that too much so that I don't think it's like worth playing.
No, that's fair.
So
I'm glad that you at least got a lot of hours into it to make it worth the cost.
yeah, it's funny because I think the first like 20 hours of the game, the first 50 levels is really good, and then after the last 50 levels is
Repetitive.
Incredibly not good.
Mm-hmm. He was telling me about it earlier today.
So much not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was really funny because last week, of course, in the podcast, he was like, "Oh, like I'm done, I'm not playing again." And then this week, Lux, someone in our chat Lux, they were like, "Oh, like tell Rob I agree. Like Diablo is such a bad game. Like wouldn't want to play that. Blah blah blah." And I was like, "So Robert's actually playing Diablo right now."
No, yeah. I was trying so hard to play with friends, and they're having such a good time. I'm like, there has to be. They can't be wrong, right? No, they're wrong. They are certainly wrong.
Just get them to play RuneScape finally.
No, they don't play it because it looks ugly. That's what they said.
At least it's probably more fun than Diablo.
Yeah, they're all washed up gamers anyways. They don't really play games anymore. So.
Isn't that like literally what they call themselves, washed up gamers?
Yeah, they literally the name of the clan in Diablo is washed up gamers.
Yeah, that's funny.
I mean, which is kind of funny because if we're being serious, I don't think any of them are really ever gamers.
Except
for like 2, and they still are the most gamer of
Are you counting
all.
yourself as one of those 2?
Yes. It's literally just me and Jeff.
Yeah, I was gonna say you too.
Like we have probably more like game time than all of the other people combined.
Yeah.
Like
you guys are the
almost
real
certainly.
gamers.
Yeah, like almost certainly, which is funny, but it's not a competition. Anyways.
But if it was me, Jeff would be winning.
If it was? Yeah, I don't know. Jeff used to play like a lot of World of Warcraft. He has like 10,000 hours in WoW or something like that.
God.
But that is pretty much it. I've been playing a bit of Deep Rock Galactic.
Yeah.
There's a new season of Deep Rock.
He was talking
all
about
their seasons
earlier,
are free.
and he was like, "I'm gonna play an actually fun game."
Yeah,
Logged in at Deep Rock
that
Galactic.
game is actually fun every time
Honestly,
I log in.
I feel like I would really like that game.
Everyone would because
It
it's
looks
hilarious.
fun.
There's nothing bad about that game.
Yeah.
Actually, there is, but it's more of like a end game type of conundrum. So
Okay.
yeah. So I won't get into it, but there are some problems. But you know, if
In this video essay.
yeah, in Diablo, it's like 60% of the things are annoying.
Yo, Robert, I know you don't make videos anymore, but you should make a video that people hate watch about why Diablo's a bad game.
It's honestly probably not the only one. So
Dang.
yeah. But like, yeah, Deep Rock, 90% of the game's fun, so that's cool.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're at least found a different game that you enjoy that's not Diablo, even if it's not RuneScape.
Yeah, and I say this every week, and I
Really wanted to log in this week.
I do mean it, where I want to play more RuneScape.
It's hard to start again. I'll give you that.
Yeah, it can be.
Well, because I usually don't play off stream, and then the past week I've been doing a lot of Slayer off stream, and getting into the habit of like doing it for work, I guess, again is weird.
Yeah, going back to your
weird.
job of playing the game.
Yeah, it's weird doing it just like it's not even for fun. I have more fun when I'm doing it
That's
for
what I'm
work.
saying. It's
yeah,
a job.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, all right,
Clocking
time to clock in and do my hour of Motherload Mine before I have to go to bed.
Literally me. I was like, time to clock in and get some Slayer points.
Yeah, that's literally going to be me if I play. I'm like, all right, cool, 7 o'clock. Guess I get to play for a little bit before I go to bed.
Yeah, you just need to find something you like. Maybe you'll like something like raids eventually. We'll see.
Just punch in, blow a bunch of glass, go to bed. So like, all right,
you're
cool.
making me overthink this hardcore.
I got 30,000 experience. Only 300 more days before I get a day off. It's like,
oh no, I hate it because you're not really wrong.
I know. that's why I struggle to log in sometimes.
Whoops.
But
yeah, I need to do some XP stuff, man. Everything that I grind, I've done. Now that Forestry's out, I already got 99 woodcutting.
Well, you have to collection log it.
You know what's not even in the collection log yet?
That's weird. Oh, they usually add it late.
Yeah, it was funny though, because I saw, as of when I woke up, like hours and hours ago, I saw someone tweeting and they were like, I think it's really weird if you add new content to the game, like all these new items. Why wouldn't you just automatically add to collection log instead of being like, we need to discuss it first?
Yeah. I mean, they retroactively log it for you, so it doesn't matter
but
anyways.
Other stuff they added immediately.
Yeah.
I think it's because they want people to be able to vote if it's collection log or not.
Yeah, some of the stuff they do wait for some reason, and it doesn't make sense.
I think because they're scared of backlash because people are kind of crazy in this community.
Yeah, there was a bunch of stuff that did break whenever the update did come out, though. For instance, like if you bought bonds.
Okay, they're like disappearing or something?
Yeah, if you bought a bond and you tried to claim it and then closed the interface for the GE, it would still be in the GE. Like you couldn't take it out, and then if you closed it, it would just disappear.
Yeah, I heard that too, that they're just disappearing. I think that they're still working on that one.
Oh, and also speaking of collection logs, shout out to whoever that was.
Oh,
The
I don't know their
first, yeah, I
name.
don't know who they are, but they're the first player to ever green log all the bosses in the game, including pets.
Dude, when I saw that, I was like, I need to become a green logger. And then what do? Keep doing TOA. To be fair, I have to green log it.
It's funny because if you say that in a different way, you sound actually like clinically insane. Like they'd probably put you in an institute. If you're like, man, I really want to play this game for 20,000 hours to collect all these pixels that everyone else also has almost.
It's so funny because like there's an episode of Black Mirror like in the first season called like 15 million merits, and they're just like, commenting on like society and like exercising for these points that then they spend in like little virtual clothes and stuff. And it's just like, wow, like who does that? That's so lame. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, well, for RuneScape though, it's different.
Yeah.
RuneScape's the only game. RuneScape and Animal Crossing are the only ones I actually care.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. It's just it is weird.
It is weird though. I'll admit it's weird, but I do love it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm no saying I buy pixels and stuff like that.
You buy it with real money.
I don't. Yeah, I don't care. Like, I mean, I have several hundreds and hundreds of dollars spent on League of Legends, which is, I mean, that's foolish.
You
but,
also got excited when you got a pet in your account.
Yeah. I mean, I got less excited whenever it was the skilling pet.
Well, because it was so spooned.
Well, it's just like I don't know. Skilling pets are cool. They're probably my favorite pets, to be fair.
They're great because they're always cute.
Because whenever you get them, it's like you didn't do anything to get them.
It's just totally RNG more.
Yeah.
Rather than like the bossing could be RNG, but also you have to be actively fighting.
Like
I
was so
you were so excited for your Vorkath.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, whenever I got my Firehawk and whenever I got
oh my god, your Phoenix!
Squirrel,
You just said Firehawk like our mod.
Oh, I mean, whatever.
Shout out Firehawk, our mod.
Yeah, whenever I got the Phoenix and then whenever I got the Squirrel, I almost didn't care.
The Phoenix, you didn't even realize you logged out, not realizing it was yours, and then the next day you're like, oh.
Yeah, like I almost literally didn't care because it's just that's exactly
not to
a
say
good
he
point.
wasn't hyped up because he was like super shocked, but
yeah, I was excited
not as hype as
obviously,
Vorkath.
but I wasn't like, oh, I did something to get this. Like you said, I literally logged out and didn't realize. That's how little it like impacted the
Whereas
game.
Vorkath, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, Vorkath, that was cool. I don't know. It's
I feel you.
Yeah, it's kind of like a weird thing. But yeah,
Definitely.
shout out to that person that got all the pets.
Shout out. Sorry,
Or not all the pets, but all the PvE pets.
God, that is so many pets.
Yeah, that is a lot of pets.
Ugh.
Well, I'm sure they'll add more. So.
Yes, true.
Anyways, we can probably move on to the actual stuff that everyone wants to listen to this week. I think we rambled plenty.
Yep.
So we'll be talking about somewhere that is almost certainly going to have more pets. And it is also PvE. And that is the Desert Treasure 2, The Fallen Empire. So we'll be getting into the rewards poll blog whenever we come back. All right, so we are back, and it is Thursday. Thanks for sticking around.
Hi.
And I personally don't have any updates, but I think Michelle does.
Yeah, just literally only one thing. We got 5.9 mil split from a Fang.
Huge.
So pretty sick. But yeah, we could just immediately move right into the Desert Treasure 2 rewards poll.
Yeah,
blog.
And since
What
yesterday,
a title.
there already was a bunch of bugs and fixes and changes, but we'll be going
to Forestry.
But we'll be going over that whenever we get to Forestry. First, we're going to jump into the Desert Treasure 2 rewards poll blog that did come out on Monday, June 26th.
Yeah, the revised version came out on Monday. So we're going to go over the new revised parts first, and then we're going to go through the other part that didn't change.
Yeah, I haven't read this, so...
I have.
Yeah, hopefully some pretty cool stuff in here. So we're going to start off with the Virtus robes. We've given each piece of the Virtus robes a plus 1% magic damage bonus. This is something we saw a lot of calls for, and hopefully slots these in a better middle ground between Arams and Ancestrals. We still have thoughts on the magic damage as a whole and the difficulties posed by the astronomical strength of the occult necklace relative to its price.
So good for only 500k. It's the best in Slaw Mage necklace.
Yeah, and it has been for pretty much forever. But that's a topic for another time. Wearing all three of the Virtus Mask robe top and bottoms now provides 3% magic damage and also increases 12% to your ancient magics.
Nice. That's huge.
Yeah, so they updated it because apparently it didn't say the ancient magics part, but now it does. Mm-hmm. So this is a change from the old Virtus robes where before it had additional power increases to each of the ancient spells as well, if anyone does recall that.
I don't recall.
Well, the staff still does it, but apparently the staff in combination with the robes was a little too strong, so they did nerf it a few
Virtus
weeks back.
Staff, that's not a thing that's getting out to the game, is it?
The staff, yeah, it is.
Oh, is it called the Virtus staff?
No,
I
it's
feel like I'm going crazy.
yeah. I'm almost certain you haven't read this.
No, I have.
But
You haven't read it. Stop it.
yeah. So
You don't know what you're talking about.
the ancient scepter is the item
Oh,
that's getting added to the game, and it
okay.
is literally exactly what I
I
was talking
forget that
about.
scepters are staffs.
Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, I guess technically, if you want to be technical, it doesn't reach the floor, so it's not a staff. But
Exactly, it's a scepter.
yeah, sure.
Who's
Uh,
putting me
Either
down?
way, the robes don't do that anymore. And also, we have the Bellator ring. So this is the new Warriors ring upgraded version. Of our 4 new rings on offer, many of you felt that the Bellator ring felt pretty far behind in terms of power. While it's true, the corresponding Fremnik ring, aka the Warrior ring, doesn't see a lot of use. That doesn't mean we couldn't stand to make this one at least a little bit stronger. We
It's
bring
supposed to be new best in slot after all.
it is. Well, I mean, it would have been either way. For slash, at least. We've increased the slash accuracy and strength bonus on the Bellator ring to give it a little extra oomph. Accuracy in old school is a tricky one because max hits are so important. So it might be the case that the Bellator ring is still south of where it needs to be. There's every chance we take another look at it in the future. Wow. I don't know if I said that wrong or if they did. But we've buffed it
I
up.
get it.
But we've buffed it up to a plus 20 slash accuracy and plus 6 strength. So yeah, hopefully that makes it better. On top of this, a little note: someone actually did the math. I don't know how right they were because this was just off of Reddit, but they did a little bit of math using a calculator, a DPS calculator, and apparently you'll have, I think, 2 less max hit with this ring as opposed to the other best in slot max hit ring, which is the Berserker variant. But if you are using the Bellator ring that gives you 20 slash accuracy with the scythe in Theater of Blood, it is a slightly higher DPS increase
Well, better
than
be. It's supposed to be better.
yeah.
If
I
it's
mean,
not, that's like, what's the point?
well, it's not. It's supposed to be better than the old version, which
Oh,
I
not
mean,
necessarily better than the Berserker. Never
no,
mind.
yeah, the
Yeah.
Berserker's still going to be better like
True, true.
95% of the time. But if you are using the scythe a lot, then the Bellator might actually be your go-to for that.
Nice. So moving on to tradable best in slot rings. Initially, we suggested that players would break down the corresponding Fremi rings and fuse the product with a tradable vestige, dropped by the Desert Treasure 2 bosses to make untradable rings requiring 90 magic and 80 crafting. Much like the Divine Rune Pouch from Tombs of Amaskia requiring Thread of Relentlessness and 75 crafting to create, the new rings from Desert Treasure 2 have a level requirement attached to them if you're looking to craft your own. Meaningful character progression is a key part of OS and something that many of you cherish. Hitting a new level and unlocking a new piece of gear or gaining access to an area feels great. That's a core part of our design philosophy, and we feel it's important to maintain that as part of your journey through Gilnorn. However, we understand that some of you would prefer the option to improve the combat capabilities of another character without having to repeat the same grind, or simply want to trade these items between members of your Group Iron team. With this in mind, we've made some adjustments. Instead, the finished rings themselves will be tradable. You'll be able to buy and sell them in their completed form, but they will still require completion of DT2, the Fallen Empire, to equip. Making these tradable means their death's behavior is simpler, which saves some headache in PvP and for ultimates, while also allowing GIMs to swap the rings between each other. To compensate, the vestiges dropped by the bosses that are used to make the rings will be untradable, requiring 90 magic boostable and 80 crafting, also boostable, as well as knowledge only accessible after quest completion to be able to create the finished product. This means you'll stand to make significantly more money at the post-quest bosses if you get out there and train your skills. So maybe it's time to do some of that crafting you've been putting off for so long. There's still more to talk about. I at first was actually kind of sad that they were making it tradable because I liked that it was untradable. And then I read like the GIMs and stuff, and I was like, okay, never mind. Like, that's actually nice for GIMs. You don't have to grind it 5 times separately.
Okay. Wait, why is that good for?
Because now
for
I have a
GIMs. I thought you
GIM.
meant UIMs. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how UIMs work. So I'm just going to talk as someone who's now going to have a GIM.
I think
It's
specifically
nice.
for death mechanics because you would just lose it. Then you'd have to refarm it. But if it's worth money, then it just breaks.
Yeah.
I think that's how it works.
I'm not totally sure, to be honest.
Double check me
I
because
don't
I'm
take
not a UIM.
anything into yeah, I don't know anything about Ultimates, and I don't ever take stuff into the wilderness.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I'm glad that you at least have to finish the quest to be allowed to wear it.
Yeah, I guess that's cool because I mean they're pretty big damage increases, so I guess that's cool. But also I don't know. I like
Kind of unfortunate you could just buy it.
I wanted them to be untradeable, but also at this point I kind of just don't care. And
Mm-hmm.
also I'm an Iron Man, so I really don't care.
That's
But
true. I mean, but you're also in the GIM, so you and Alfresco, and if I ever get back on that,
yeah, that'll never happen. So yeah, I mean it's okay. 90 magic's pretty high, 80 crafting's pretty high, but they are best in slot items. Like,
And I was thinking the same thing. I was like, that's really high, and I was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be best in slot rings. It makes sense.
well, I mean the Zerker ring is best in slot for like ever, and I mean that one has no requirements. So
Exactly.
you just yeah, you actually it's the easiest one to get. So
Yeah.
it's kind of funny. But yeah, I don't know. I wish there were things that were chase items that were like untradeable, but I don't know. I don't really know if RuneScape is that type of game. Really.
True. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think like everything that you chase, really, you could just buy.
Yeah, literally, that's kind of the point and also the problem with the game for me. So it's kind of
That's why
like
you're about the Iron Life.
Yeah, exactly. So that's
Yeah.
why they have that game mode.
But anyway, to sum up as concisely as possible, using the Berserker Ring as an example, player completes DT2 and begins fighting one of the post-quest bosses. Boss drops untradeable vestige. Player obtains new bars either through trading or as boss drops. Player breaks down the ring and receives a Berserker icon. With 90 mage, you fuse the Berserker icon with the vestige, creating the altar icon. With 80 crafting, you use bars and the icon to create the altar ring. And now you can sell the altar ring. Another player finishes the quest and buys the ring, dies with it in unprotected and PvP, thumbs down, log out.
Yeah.
Easy.
I was just thinking it'd be funny if they made it so you had to have, because there's like practically an infinite amount of like B rings and Fremnik rings. I'm like thinking to myself for a second, I was like, they should just make it so you have to have 2 rings in order to make it. Because then everyone
just a little extra for no reason.
Yeah, everyone would have to buy up a bunch of archers and resell them.
I haven't checked, but I wonder if all the rings are getting more expensive.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain whenever this came out, they went up by like, 10 to 30%, like easily.
Yeah, they're not too expensive in general.
If not more, yeah, they're really, really cheap. So
Yeah.
maybe even more.
How funny. But yeah, that's all that they've tweaked of the updates. We're going to be going over all the other things in just a second, but just giving you guys a heads up that the poll is now open. It opened on the 28th, so yesterday for us. And they also say that we understand and appreciate that some of you out there have lost a little bit of excitement for the quest following the Ruinous Powers removal. Reminder, the prayer book is not going to happen. While it's too late for us to make any promises, we'd like to say that we're still regularly discussing for ideas for things we could add if the quest feels underwhelming. However, we're extremely confident that the quest itself, for beautiful new areas to explore and for extremely unique new bosses, will surpass your expectations. So
yeah. Also, I mean, I don't even know if I've seen this sentiment so much, but I guess other people have. Someone was saying on Reddit that, like, to address people saying that the quest felt a little underwhelming as far as rewards go. But they did like a quick little comparison, and it pretty much the quest itself rewards you practically just as many best in slot items as every other Grandmaster that's ever come out.
yeah,
So,
I feel like the Grandmasters don't even always have the best rewards.
Oh no, they do.
They do?
The Grandmasters definitely have really good rewards.
I can't remember.
There's only like 3 of them.
Yeah, Sins of the Father,
Sins
DS2,
of the Father,
Song of the Elves, and now this.
Yes, I think that's it.
I straight up don't remember the reward.
Yeah. So Sins of the Father.
I know you unlock Vorkath with one.
Yeah, Vorkath, which is wait, what was it? Yeah, so I actually took a second to go make
We
sure
looked it up.
and look up the rewards.
He's right. They're good.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily like directly giving you stuff, but giving you access
giving
to
you
areas
access, yeah.
to upgrade. Like
I was thinking, I was like, it's definitely true. They give you access. They give you a bunch of stuff, but it wasn't the actual rewards. It was access. So
yeah,
obviously you unlock the Blade of Seldor as well as the
like
Bofa.
just all the corrupted stuff.
Yeah, and then for
Zenites.
DS2 you get
Vorkath and Ferocious
you get
Gloves.
Vorkath and Ferocious Gloves.
Ability to make Ferocious Gloves, to be clear.
Yeah, and then also, yeah, like you said, the Zenites for
Yeah.
DS2. So there's or is it DS2? No, it's Monkey Madness.
Yeah, Monkey Madness too.
Yeah, so
It's crazy we only have 3
on par
Grandmaster.
with those in the fact that it unlocks other
Something
best in slot items, and then it really only unlocks 4 or 5 technically best in slot items, and the 4 being the rings. And then the 5th is the axe, which is only
Which we'll
best in
go over
slot.
soon.
It's only best in slot at very particular places.
I mean, it's the same with the robes. The robes are best in slot when you're specifically doing ancients.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't even know. But yeah, so I guess if you're specifically like bursting with the robe as well as the scepter and stuff like that, it's probably best in slot. But yeah, it's like not there's only really the rings are specifically best in slot.
So it might not be as cool as the others.
No, it puts it on par with the others.
I was
Yeah.
like, is this a complaint or?
No, it's just because like some people were saying that you don't get a lot of like good rewards from this quest, but it's really similar to the other ones.
Yeah, no,
So,
that's true.
Yeah.
The rings just seem a little less cool than like items like range and stuff. But I mean, we have to update rings eventually.
Yeah, maybe it seems that way just because like they're essentially like no use items. Like you just put them on,
Yeah.
and you don't ever
But I
really.
think we've
take them
become a
off.
little bit spoiled with them that we're so used to them that we don't even think about
Maybe,
like
and also they're
how good they are.
they're really just a different version of the rings we've been playing with for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, how excited can you get? It'd be like, oh, cool, we have new wizard robes, and they're just the mystic robes, but like slightly different color.
Stop it.
But anyways, there's a new item. So after finishing the quest, you'll be able to upgrade your Ring of Visibility into a fancy new Ring of Shadows. I kind of feel like they could have worked on the name. The Ring
I
of
think
Shadows,
it's kind of cool. Like you're gonna be living in the shadows.
but from visibility to shadows, come on. The
liked it.
Ring of Shadows has all the same functionality as the Ring of Visibility, but with the added ability to teleport you to the ancient vault in the Caridian Desert. Additionally, you'll be able to unlock 4 more teleports, which will pop you out somewhere close to each of the bosses.
That will actually be so nice for farming the bosses.
It will be. On
That's
top of
really
that, the Ring of Shadows has a spread of offensive stats, perfect for those of you that might be right on the edge of PVM, but perhaps on a very small budget. And
It's gonna be cheap then.
yeah, by offensive stats, they mean it
Like
has
+4.
It has stats that exist because
It's real.
it's literally just +4 attack and then +5 magic with a little bit of magic defense, and then 2 melee strength and 2 prayer.
Yeah.
So
Huge.
if you haven't farmed out your Fremnik ring, which I don't know why you're doing this quest without having done that, then I guess this will be suitable until then.
Yeah. But their first question, should they add this ring as described to the game?
Yeah, with the ability to unlock teleports near all 4 bosses.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's revisit some more familiar rewards, which you'll receive from the post-quest variants of Duke Succulus, the
I
Leviathan.
don't think it's succulus.
It's not?
I don't know, but succulus just sounds.
How do you pronounce Sucellus?
Okay, this is really funny because now I'm gonna feel embarrassed when I say, "Oh, I'm reading my head."
Sucellus?
Sussulus.
I mean, yeah, you're probably right.
Sussulus.
Yeah, I mean, none of these words are real.
We're all gonna call him the Duke.
I don't know. Is Succulus a word? Who knows? The Leviathan is, which is the next ring.
The Leviathan. I'm so overwhelmed just talking about
Clearly.
it. Clearly. That sounds like the coolest one, just based
Yeah.
on the name.
The Whisperer,
Mm.
which sounds like a creep. And then
Sounds
Vardovis.
like a creep.
Vardovis.
Vardorvis. There's an extra R.
Vardorvis.
Vardorvis.
Wow, that sounds like
I don't
some.
know. The extra R makes it kind of cheesy. Vardovis. Vardorvis.
Yeah, it makes it sound like.
Oh, because it says door in it. So it's
Yeah,
cheesy.
I don't know why, but it reminds me of like a word that like the Who's in Whoville would say.
Stop. It kind of does, doesn't it?
Anyways,
It's the villain.
if you are wondering what we're talking about, those are the new bosses that you're going to get all these rewards from.
Yeah.
And speaking of rewards, new best in slot stuff that we've been mentioning are the rings.
Mm-hmm. So since 2005, the Fremi rings, in particular the Berserker ring, have been as good as it gets for individual combat styles. With 4 new bosses on the way, it feels like the perfect time to consider 4 new ring upgrades that'll see even more use than their predecessors.
Isn't it kind of laughable that for the last 15 years we've had, or 18 years, we've had the same exact best in slot?
That is actually
item?
nuts. That's okay. Anyone scared of power creep? This is the opposite of power
Yeah.
creep.
Like
Should never change it.
You could have been born and then be in college, and the same ring would have been best in slot for that whole time.
That is really weird.
That is
Okay.
really, really interesting. I don't know how else to say it, but anyways,
They have some concept designs of what the rings are going to look like, and I actually think it's so cool because you can see each of their elements like on each ring.
Yeah, they look cool.
Yeah, they look really pretty. I mean, it sucks
So-
because you can't see the rings on your character, but it look cool in your inventory.
Yeah, you should check them out if you haven't. rings actually look really cool.
What's your
One's holding a
favorite?
hammer. One is a lightning bolt. One's a scimitar of sorts, and the last one is an arrow.
I like the hammer one.
I like the Magus one.
The magic one.
Yeah, the magic lightning bolt looking one. I think it looks really cool.
It is really pretty.
Yeah.
They're cool. I like these designs a lot. The first ring, the Venator, which is the equivalent to the Archer's ring right now, plus 10 range accuracy, plus 2 range strength. Next up, the Magus ring, which is the Seers ring, plus 15 magic accuracy, plus 2% magic damage. The Ultra ring, which is, that's the Berserker, right?
The Ultor is the Berserker.
Yeah. This one will be plus 12 melee strength. And then the Bellator ring, which is the Warrior's ring, plus 20 slash accuracy and plus 6 melee strength.
And I was just thinking to myself, and if you also had the same thought, I
I'm
was
probably
like,
on those wrong.
no, I was like, oh, that'd be cool if you can upgrade these and imbue them, but I'm pretty
Nope.
sure they said you can't.
You cannot wear it. That's actually going to be like one of the first things that we say on here, I think.
Oh, well, that's cool. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I was thinking, I was like, man, this is pretty good. If you can double them, that'd be really nuts.
No,
But,
that would be too much probably.
yeah, definitely not, because there's still an increase even over the imbued items.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, maybe it doesn't say the thing about imbuing them. I know I read somewhere you can't imbue them. Now I'm not so sure where it is.
Yeah, I'm almost
But anyway.
certain you can't. They confirmed that. I'm pretty sure a long time ago, but they
Yeah, I
don't.
could just be thinking of old notes.
Doesn't look like they mention it here. They do mention an imbued Berserker ring being not as good, but that's about it.
Yeah. So each boss has a chance to drop some brand new tradable bars as well as untradeable vestiges, but these rings themselves will be tradable, like we said, giving you the opportunity to turn those crafting levels into cold, hard cash. Again, you'll need 90 mage and 80 crafting, plus trading bars and untradeable vestiges collected from the bosses to go ahead and make these upgraded rings and sell them.
Yeah.
So quite a lot of work if you want to get money for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And all skills are boostable, so.
Yes, they are. The aim here is to preserve the value of the Fermi rings and provide a satisfying crafting pathway that makes use of crafting supplies obtained from the bosses themselves that ultimately result in profit for players who have put the time out to balance their accounts.
Yeah, it's funny because I feel like a lot of people are going to farm the bosses for the rings, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if you want to make money, you're just going to find the easiest one to kill and just kill them on repeat, because I bet you those bars are going to sell for a lot.
The bars are untradeable.
No, they're not.
Wait, I thought the bars were untradeable.
Tradable
bars. Yeah, I might have said untradeable on accident.
Yeah, so yeah, I feel like just farming the easiest one is going to make you so much money early on, because there's going to be one that's easier than the others for sure.
Definitely, there
And
always is.
the bars are usable in all of the recipes.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I wonder how the drop rates will be.
Yeah.
But question 2, should we add the new best in slot rings as rewards for the DT2 post quest bosses?
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Just do
I mean,
it.
to be fair, the quest is going to take you many hours to complete if you're trying to complete it on the first day. So,
Oh my gosh, yeah. I wanted to try and do like what I've been doing lately, which is trying to do it without help until I get to bosses.
no.
But like the puzzle parts of it.
I think you should take advantage of being NA, which is North America, because I don't know if you know that, but
Oh, you meant them. I was like, I know North America.
yeah, I don't know, because like, yeah, either way, you should take advantage of that, and you being 9 hours behind or whatever it is, and just use the guide.
You think so?
Because if you think about it, if
Well,
it
I
does,
won't wake up until the next day when it's already done.
yeah, if it does take people, 4 or 5 hours to do it, then
There'll be a guide out right as I wake up.
There is going to be a guy right when you wake up. So
That's true.
yeah, it might save you a little bit of a headache, unless you like that. I mean, shout out
do love
to
headaches.
whoever does these unhelped, unassisted, as it were.
I hope that Luke's helped make this quest. It takes 3 years.
If so, then no one will ever do it. Not that they don't want to, but that they
no,
can't.
it's physically impossible.
Yeah, actually impossible. So we have the Virtus robes up next. What would a Majorat quest be without some ancient magics? These vintage Imperial garms are here to give your blood, ice, smoke, and shadow spells a little extra pizzazz. So these items we've gone over a million times. They sit somewhere between an Arams as well as an Ancestral, so definitely not going to be new best in slot for the majority of the time, like we said, unless you are bursting or something like that.
Yeah.
We're not going to go over the stats except for the fact that they do each provide 1% magic damage. Each, like I said, for a 3% total, as well as 12% additional magic damage, 4% each. So make sure to keep that in mind, as well as giving you a little bit of prayer, but definitely not a huge amount. So
They're like 1 and 2.
yeah, with also some reasonable defensive bonuses. If you're using ancient spells or perhaps looking for a stepping stone between Aram's robes and ancestral, you'll absolutely want to get yourself kitted out in these.
Nice.
And it seems like they just drop. So there's no crafting them as per kind of the trend recently.
Yeah.
This is just going to be obtained from each of the 4 post-quest bosses and can also be bought from other players. They do require the DT2 be done, as well as 80 magic and 75 defense to equip.
I like that they're making it so you have to finish the quest to wear them.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a hot take, but I think that's actually kind of cool. That they're. I mean, I know a lot of people who don't like quests. I like quests, to be fair, are gonna be annoyed. But I'm like, they're forcing you to do the quest.
Yeah, so that's
I like
cool.
it.
Also, I do wonder how they're going to make the items drop from the bosses, because it says the pieces are obtainable from each of the 4 post-quest bosses, but there's only 3 items.
I wonder if they're all gonna drop all of them.
Yeah, I wonder if they all have a chance of it.
Huh, that'll be interesting to see.
That will be interesting.
Yeah, and these, they'll be tradable with the GE.
Yeah, I thought they were kind of going to do it how each of them drop a piece of it.
Yeah,
like,
but there's not enough.
like a partial piece that you combine together, kind of.
Oh.
Because they do a lot of the crafting things for endgame items.
Yeah, I guess because this one's just only best in slot for ancient. They're like, meh.
That's actually the mechanic that they used for this next item, though.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, but also, question 3, should that be added to the game? Next up is the Soul Reaper Axe. If the Soul Reaper Axe looks familiar, that's because it was designed by your player suggestions. Remember back, must be 7 years ago now?
Back
when
in the
they're
day.
like, send us your designs. I think it looks really cool. It's a very, very long axe, and the end kind of looks like, that's supposed to be an eye on it? On the
It literally is
axe?
called the Eye of the Duke.
Okay, I didn't look at what they're all called. So, it looks like there's an eye on the axe, and I think it looks dope. Anyway, this heavy hitter requires 80 attack and strength to wield, has some solid base stats, and a particularly unique effect. So, attacks of the Soul Reaper Axe will damage you for 8 hit points and grant you a Mighty Stack. Each Mighty Stack gives you plus 6% strength level boost, additive with bonuses from prayers, and stacks up to 5 times, for a total of 40 hit points lost and a 30% strength boost. So this is where they're doing the give and take, because they couldn't do the prayer book.
Sure.
Taking away hit points, giving you strength.
Sure.
Once you're fully stacked, you'll stop taking extra damage and be free to slap your foes silly with one of the scariest slash weapons in Gillinor. Alternatively, if you're looking for a quick extra heal or an extra burst, you can use the Soul Reaper Axe's special attack, Behead. Behead consumes any mighty stacks you have, and for each stack consumed will increase your accuracy by 6% and heal you for 8 hit points. This means you'll regain any of the hit points that you've lost. The best part is, you'll get your healing even if the attack itself misses.
Wow, they really missed out on an opportunity. This is called the Soul Reaper Axe, and it gives you health on return. Why on this earth did they not call the special attack Reap?
That would have been good.
They called it Behead. This isn't the.
So you reap what you sow, literally?
Oh my goodness! So that's ridiculous. But
Actually, reap would have been really good.
yeah, it would have been way better.
You literally would just reap what you sow, and wow, I
and
like
it gives
that.
you and it gives you health. Like
Yeah.
beheading. This isn't the Queen's axe.
After you go 10 ticks, which is 6 seconds without attacking, or when switching weapons, any mighty stacks you have will be lost.
Yep. It's pretty good. Technically, best in slot at certain
Niche
targets.
situations, right?
Yeah. So I am going to try and remember this. I did read it like 3
We're
or
not
4
pulling
days
it up.
ago. I'm not pulling it up because it was simply a comment that Mod Goblin went through the trouble of calculating for someone asking if the axe was going to be good.
Okay.
So-
what if they're just like, no?
Mod Goblin did the math, and apparently if you have a super combat as well as piety and are at max stacks, you technically have a theoretical 180 melee strength, which is
They're going to say max hit. And I was like, yes.
no, certainly not. Which does give you, between the last 2 stacks, you will have the highest max hit in the game. Once you get, I'm pretty sure that's what he said, the highest max
Okay.
hit.
I'm
But,
intrigued.
yeah, 180 strength, so it's pretty high. It is technically best in slot against like single target bosses, like very specific bosses. But anytime you switch, so if you have a spec weapon of any kind, then it is
Yeah, all those stacks are lost.
just
so
straight up
it's-
not as good as things like the sail door or something
That,
like
yeah,
that.
it makes it hard because you have to consistently use it in order for it to be good.
You cannot swap.
Weird.
You can't go and run around. You have to attack every
Yeah.
10 ticks, or it will drop one stack at a time continuously.
And the attack rate's 5, so it's pretty slow too.
It is very, very slow.
This will be
So,
interesting to see how it's used.
Yeah.
Like where.
I also don't know if he was talking about if it's going to be best in slot DPS at certain places. But he did say, I'm pretty sure that it has one of, if not the highest, max hit if you have it fully stacked
Spicy.
with everything going.
Yeah.
So pretty interesting, pretty cool. It'll be nice to see. The axe is made up of 4 untradeable components. Just so you know.
The way that you said that, I thought it was all the same thing. So you're like, it'll be nice to see the axes made up of. And I was like, what?
No, I meant to say it'll be nice to see. And the axe is also made up of 4 untradeable components, like I kind of mentioned earlier. One from
one
each
being
boss.
the Duke Eye.
Yeah, so each of the items are coming from each of the bosses. So we have the axe head of Vardorvis, and the eye, the eye of the Duke, Siren's staff, as well as the lure of Leviathan.
Nice.
And all of them combined together to make this new item, hopefully best in slot somewhere, but can be traded to other players in its completed form. So don't worry about that.
Not one part at a time, though.
All of you max mains that are just brimming with gold, you'll be able to get your hands on it. When fully stacked, the axe packs a serious punch while also giving you some extra flexibility and decision making with a unique approach to special attacks. It's sure to be well worth your time or GP spent getting a hold of it. And it's pretty interesting because I think a lot of people are, or I don't know, like not thinking about how to use it correctly. Because even if, I think if you want to maximize, if you're like, all right, I have, this many seconds, which I'm sure someone is going to calculate how long it takes to get to the max hit. And so I think if you can like maximize the amount of time you have with it at max stacks and then use the special attack to regain all of your health, deal extra damage, and then swap to your spec weapon.
That's what I was thinking.
It might be useful in some situations in that way, but
you'll have to use it at first for sure, so you could like get powered up.
Yeah, exactly. The ramping damage is, I think, where it loses a lot of its interest, because obviously you're doing less DPS early on.
I'm excited to see where this ends up being good, though.
Yeah, I agree.
But question 4, should we add this as described to the quest rewards?
Yeah. And then next up, we actually have the item that Michelle forgot was in the game, which is the Ancient Scepter.
You called it a staff. It's a scepter.
Oh, so remember that the ancient icon you went dry on for ages before getting it into, or upgrading it into an ancient scepter. It's time to imbue that scepter with the power of the ancient elements themselves. Each of the post-quest bosses will drop an untradeable sigil that coincides with their ancient element, blood, ice, shadow, and smoke. These sigils can be combined with the ancient scepter to create the blood, ice, shadow, smoke, ancient scepter. Really good names.
Wait, what are the elements again?
Who knows, honestly.
No, they didn't even say.
These upgrades retain the 5% magic damage and 10% ancient magic effects, but it'll imbue the scepter with new additional effects depending on the element. So blood will make it so now you overheal by 10% of your hit points. Ice will allow you to gain 10% additional accuracy on unfrozen freezable targets. So sadly, not additional accuracy on bosses. Shadow will also drain strength and defense in addition to the target's attack. And lastly, we have smoke. That's going to reduce healing received by 20% for 10 cycles on hit if the target is poisoned. Cool. So it's kind of a combo weapon.
Yeah.
Upgraded ancient scepters have an increased magic requirement to the predecessor, requiring 75 magic as well as 60 strength and 50 attack to equip. Alongside these, we'll be tweaking the ancient scepter and its upgraded variants to have, or to behave similarly to untradables on death in PvP, attaching a repair cost to boot. So if you want that in the game, that is going to be the last thing you have to vote for on
Question 5,
these
should they add it?
rewards.
Yeah, and the poll is open right now until July 5th. So get on it, go vote. I'm probably going to vote yes on all of them.
So you do have the rest of a whole week left in order to vote. So
You got
make sure to do that.
time.
You have plenty of time. Unless you don't care, then we'll just see all these pass more than likely anyways.
Yeah, right?
But
Most things do, unless it's PvP.
Yeah. These are kind of PvP related. Who knows?
Actually, they probably will be used in PvP.
Either way, we're going to move on to the actual update
Yeah.
of this week. Those were pretty exciting rewards, though.
So, Forestry, the way of the Forester, part 1.
Part 1.
Part 1. I'm going to go over a couple of these still ongoing or investigating hotfixes. I guess I'm not even going to go over the ones that have already been fixed. So, some players, like we said earlier, are reporting losses of bonds from their inventory and when buying from the Grand Exchange. So the team have rebooted the GE for bonds and the errors have ceased to continue. We'll be investigating any errors we received about those who did not receive their bonds. This is still ongoing.
It's ongoing in that they're still trying to give people back their bonds.
Yeah, and I need to go buy 2 bonds today, so hopefully it's fixed. We've received a number of reports of players crashing and not receiving event rewards when shopping trees with numerous amounts of people. The team has released a hotfix to resolve the issues around crashing, but they're continuing to investigate the inconsistent rewards. Players have been able to change the color of their beaver pet without the funky shaped log unlocked.
Cheaters.
Yeah, I know, right? They deployed a hotfix to stop this from happening, but they are still looking into reverting any people's beavers who changed it before. They fixed it.
Beaver reverters.
Yeah. Players have stated you cannot deposit teak logs with the Leprechaun event. They are still investigating this. It's actually also affecting mahogany, Arctic pine, and blisterwood logs.
Nice.
Inconvenient. But yeah, that is it for the hot fixes that are still ongoing. There's also some that have already been fixed.
Yeah,
thankfully.
some big time hotfixes that we definitely need to mention is going to be the last
I was going to
2.
say, yeah, a couple of these I do want to mention real quick.
The last 2 specifically, because these ones were fixed after people were...
These were the people taking advantage of them.
Yeah, like I said, if you, were able to take advantage of this, good on you, I guess. But,
We're not judging you here.
Yeah, but unfortunately, if you did wait like everyone else, then you did not
You
get
can't
lucky,
take advantage
I guess.
anymore.
Yeah, so the first one that we've been talking about is the anima-infused bark. Apparently, you or someone made even a Reddit post that got really popular on this, so this was up for quite a while before they hotfixed it. But you were able to buy items off of the Grand Exchange.
Because they're all tradable.
You could only buy with anima-infused bark, but normally. And then they bought it off the Grand Exchange for, I think they were going around 3 or 4 million. And then you could sell it back to the Forester for anima-infused bark. And as far as I know, you could get enough anima-infused bark by buying and selling these back.
To buy any untradables?
To buy practically all the untradables.
Yeah. I honestly don't even remember what's tradable and untradable at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, like, that's something I feel like they almost set themselves up for. Because they made it tradable. They knew that it would be tradable with the GE. And they knew they'd be able to sell it back.
Yeah.
They had too much faith in us as a community to not be shady.
Oversight.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even think about it either, to be fair. But as it is now, like, they have made it so you cannot sell items back right now. And you'll be able to sell them back next week.
Yeah, they're going to look into the possibility of selling them back or maybe just having multiple of them or something.
I don't know how they're going to fix that, but that's no longer a thing.
Yeah, luckily the item that people were using only had a max buyout of 8. And I think technically you needed like 10 to get all of the infused bark you needed. But if you abuse this and you have plenty more infused bark than you likely need.
Yeah.
I
was just getting mine the old-fashioned way. I kind of just want to unlock everything myself.
Yeah, to be fair,
at least right now,
the rate at which you get it is pretty quick, but not as quick as getting several thousand every second.
Yeah,
but pretty quick. The last bug that I wanted to mention was also another thing that you could have taken advantage of.
I heard people talking about this when I was doing Forestry. They're like, join the CCs. They're telling everyone when the events are happening.
Yeah, so if anyone hasn't participated in the events, you can get large amounts of experience at the end of 2 of them specifically. And also during the events, you get pretty good XP per hour as well. But people were taking advantage, like you said, in CCs or in Discords.
Yeah.
What they would do is they would world hop to the very end of an event where you get the big XP drop, kind of like how Wintertop works, and then they would just continue on to the next world.
Yeah.
And the next world getting
200 to 300,000 XP an hour.
Yeah, getting drop after drop.
Yeah.
So honestly, that is a lot of XP, but that is not so much more XP than like 1 or 2 ticking mahoganies.
You mean teaks?
No.
Mahoganies are 2 ticks?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so there's obviously this is a lot easier, infinitely easier, but you can 2-tick teaks or 2-tick mahoganies and get really high XP rates.
Yeah, I think teaks were like 200 something.
Yeah, you
I
can.
haven't done it in years. Like, don't quote me on that.
Yeah, so like you can do a tick manipulation method at the mahoganies on Fossil Island that you grow.
Yeah.
And you can use, whatever grimy herbs, chopping a log or fletching a log, whatever you need, and you can get really high
God,
XP
I hate
rates.
those kind of methods. They're so annoying to me.
Exactly. So so much
This
more.
is much easier.
So much more effort would be required, but unfortunately, that is going to be the only method to get this high of a rate.
Yeah,
as
'cause
far as I know.
They have made some changes to it. So if you're not logged into the world when the flowering tree or struggling sapling event spawns, you will not receive the final drop of XP at the end. That's not to say that you're not going to be getting XP for any that you partake in, but you're not going to get the bonus.
Yes.
If you're not logged into the world when the Rising Roots event spawns, you will receive reduced rewards. We also have reduced the duration of the Flowering Tree event by approximately a minute, and the Leprechaun event by approximately over 1 minute. Yeah, the Flowering Tree one was going on for like a really long time.
Yeah, so the Flowering Tree one...
That's the B one.
Yeah, that also a lot of people are saying that's a big win because also you get more XP that way as well.
I don't like that one. My favorite's the Roots.
Yeah.
But anyway... Forestry Part 1. Grab your plaid shirts, venture into the great outdoors with the first part of our much anticipated woodcutting expansion. There are 3 worlds set up right now.
Yeah, I didn't even know there were going to be woodcutting worlds, let alone 3 of them.
I talked about my 10-minute video. But 444, which is US West, 47 US East, and 510 UK. Whenever it first came out, all these worlds were completely full, so I wouldn't be surprised if they open up more.
Yeah. Or I'm sure there might be unofficial worlds already if that's the case.
True. I was struggling to find people because I didn't realize that they added the worlds at first.
Yeah.
I read the notes after. But anyway, so going over some forestry changes. We've gone over these before, but we'll do a quick little overview again.
So we have the new tree mechanics. To help support group play and reduce competition, trees will now despawn on a timer that activates after the first cut and regenerates if players stop cutting the tree before it's fully chopped. So the way I think about it is kind of the upper floor of Motherlode Mine.
Yes.
The length of the despawn timer is based on the average time each type of tree currently lasts. So all the way from 27 seconds for oak, 30 for willow, all the way up to 3 minutes and 54 seconds for magic and 4 minutes and 24 seconds for redwood.
Huge.
I'm not going to go through and tell you all the times for all the trees.
I got through them all in my video. Check it out.
If there's any particular one you're interested in, they do have a full list of every tree in the game, including hollow trees and also Arctic pines.
I totally forgot hollow trees were a thing.
Yeah, because no one actually cuts them.
Right.
In addition, chopping the same tree with other players will give you an invisible +1 woodcutting bonus for each person at the tree, up to a maximum of 10 for 10 players. As a reminder, you won't receive this bonus while cutting normal trees or within the woodcutting guild, where you actually already receive a +7 bonus if you didn't know.
Yes, you do.
And remember, this part of the update is available for both free-to-play as well as old school members.
Yep. Next up, the Friendly Forester and Forestry Kit. So the thing is, I'm pretty sure every week I've been calling him the Freaky Forester. I didn't realize it was a different name.
Yeah.
It's like I guess his twin.
Yeah, I think maybe you were calling him that because in the beta, I think the guy might have been called that.
He was honestly probably called Friendly. Literally, someone called him the Friendly Forester the other day when I was streaming, and I was like, he's not friendly, he's a real freaky naughty forester. And then I was literally just a liar.
Yeah, true.
Anyway, the famous pheasant hunting Friendly Forester is your main man when it comes to forestry. He set up camp in Draenor and Sears Village. We're able to visit him for handy tips, access to the forestry shop, and your free forestry kit. So go claim that ASAP. This new wearable item lets you store a variety of new tools and materials, which lets you interact with Gilnor's forest in whole new ways. You can craft new additions to your kit using existing materials combined with items from the forestry shop, which we will go over soon.
Shun.
To buy these items, you'll need untradeable currency, only found in forestry, the anima-infused bark that we kind of mentioned before. You'll naturally earn this while participating in forestry events, and if you have a forestry kit with you, it'll be conveniently stored in there. While chopping, you also collect leaves, which can also be stored in your kit. All the items and components to upgrade your forestry kit are tradable, including leaves. We were talking on stream, and I would suggest maybe holding onto leaves till part 2 when they do the teas and stuff. Because right now they're not valuable at all.
Yeah, I guess so. If you can't make any money off them now, you might as well wait until people start buying them.
Yeah, but some other things that you could find in your forestry kit
is going to be the Leprechaun Charm. So the Leprechaun Charm, these charms attract the attention of friendly leprechauns. Who would have thought? When someone in your group successfully chops a tree, having this charm in your forestry kit means there's a chance a leprechaun will appear and offer services. You can create the charm with 70 crafting, 70 woodcutting, 35 farming. Buy a clover insignia at the forestry shop and combine it with an emerald and a ball of wool to create 10 leprechaun charms.
In general, people do not like this event because
Yeah,
it's a waste of XP compared to the other events.
it is. So if you're getting this event, it's not that it's a waste of XP, it's that you could be getting one that gives you XP.
Yeah, yeah. So,
But this is helpful in that you can obviously deposit things to the leprechaun if you don't want to go back to the bank.
Oh yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing. It's kind of nice if you want to deposit some logs and actually make money.
Yeah.
But be prepared that some people might be like, "Who has a charm?"
And also, I'm wondering why you're not cutting next to a bank. Anyways, all the good trees are next to banks.
Yeah, but the leprechaun goes right next to you.
Okay. Then we have a bee on a stick, Michelle's favorite.
Yeah.
These buzzy buddies help pollinate plants. While chopping trees, they have a chance to detect strange bushes that are ready to pollinate and will assist you in doing so. You can create this with 50 hunter and 35 wood cutting. Buy some powdered pollen at the forestry shop and combine that with a ball of wool and some logs while near a beehive to create 10 bees on a stick. That sounds kind of brutal.
No, they look really cute though.
Sure.
Yeah.
Also, bees on a stick. I don't know why this reminds me of shout out if you've ever played on the Nintendo 64 Conker's Bad Fur Day, and let me know in the comments if you've ever played that and remember the bee part of the game.
Okay, ominous. Anyway, next up is nature offerings. Nature offerings give you a 60 to 80% chance to receive an additional log while chopping trees. The offering will be used whether or not you receive the extra log. You can create this with 50 farming and 68 wood cutting. Buy some ritual mulch at the forestry shop and combine that with one high tier herb to create 48 nature offerings.
Nice. 40's a lot.
Yeah, and they stack, of course.
And also we have something else that stacks, which is Forester's Ration.
Mm-hmm.
It's a snack that you get for woodcutting enthusiasts. These tasty treats have a 30% chance to restore 20 points of red energy when chopping a tree with a one-handed axe specifically.
Oh, yeah.
You can make your very own once you've got 35 cooking and 35 woodcutting. Simply combine leaves of any type with a slice of cooked meat to get the Forester's Ration.
Cool. Finally, the secateurs attachment. Want to rake in the leaves? These handy clippers get you more leaves when chopping trees, roughly doubling the amount you'll receive. Once you've got 35 smithing and 35 wood cutting, buy a secateur's blade from the forester and combine it with an iron bar to create 50 secateur attachments. To reiterate, all the kit upgrades are tradable and stackable, so you can buy these on the GE or trade them with other people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're going to go into the next one. That's it for the things that you can buy from the Freaky Forester or the Friendly
kit.
Forester, either one.
Next up is events.
Yeah, the next one's events. Just make sure you know hollow trees and redwood trees do not spawn these.
And neither does the Woodcutting Guild.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Or regular trees still.
Yes.
Forestry brings Gilnor to life with a new exciting event. And 4 of them actually arrived today. These special events can occur anytime someone's cutting a tree with a forestry kit somewhere on their person. And there are no other events happening within a 20-tile radius. So you just can't spawn a million of them.
Yes.
We estimate that players will see 4 to 5 events per hour when chopping solo, but a group of 10 may expect to see around 7 to 9 per hour. We've also balanced events across the tree tiers rather. Oak trees with a shorter time naturally having a lower chance to spawn events, so to make up for it, they'll get more rules on the table. The higher end trees, like magic, work the opposite way, so you'll get more even though you'll be cutting less.
Yeah.
And so it kind of evens out. When a tree is first chopped, the game rolls on the event table. If the event is set to happen during chopping, the event picks a random point during the tree's life cycle to spawn. Otherwise, the event is rolled and executed when the tree falls. You'll need a forestry kit to spawn an event. Although some events have further requirements, events check every player at the tree for the required items. So as long as someone has it, the event will spawn.
Yeah, which is why I have not gotten the items myself.
Exactly. If you're one of the players with the necessary item, you'll lose it when the event spawns, but you'll gain bonus rewards and XP from the event as compensation. So we have the 3 events.
4 events.
4.
First up, my favorite one, Rising Roots. So these are some gnarly roots that try and protect their woody brethren, and you cut them down for some XP and anima-infused bark.
It's messed up.
Yeah, and in the process, keep an eye out for the glowing ones. Hit those if you see it. They're like not as obvious as I thought. I thought it would be fully glowing. Just like a little bit of greenish blue on it.
Okay. Then we have the flowering tree. Help the bees find the right 2 flowers to pollinate. You'll need a bee on a stick for this event to appear, but you'll also be rewarded with XP, anima-infused bark, and some seeds or tasty treats.
Struggling sapling, help the poor sapling grow big and strong. Create the right combination of mulch to feed the baby tree before it withers away. Get some XP and anima-infused bark in return.
It's kind of funny. It looks like you're just throwing poop on a little stubby tree.
One of the ingredients, there's 5 things and you do 3 in the correct order. One of them is literally droppings.
There you go. And lastly, we have Leprechaun, everyone's favorite, if you know. If you have a Leprechaun charm, you may attract a friendly Leprechaun who will take your woodcutting resources straight to the bank. What a helpful chap. Remember, all events scale in experience and difficulty depending on the number of players present. This means you'll be well rewarded for your efforts, even when playing in a group.
Mm-hmm. Next up is the Forestry shop section. So we already covered the kit upgrades. Let's move on to everything else you could get here. Starting out with the log basket.
Yeah, so before we get into this, I have a little bit of news about the items here. So all of these items we're about to go over, not all of them, but I think pretty much all of them,
Well,
right?
They're not tradable anymore.
They do require you to turn in noted logs.
Which is hard for ultimates.
Which is impossible.
Wait, is it impossible?
For certain items. Mostly because of the redwood logs.
Oh, I did see
so
something
remember
about it.
we looked at this on my GIM about how to get redwood logs early
Some
on an
boss
account.
drops them. I don't remember who.
The only place to get noted redwood logs in the game without going to a bank is specifically from the rewards chest in Morton.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The Shades of Morton minigame.
The Shades of Morton minigame. And only from the highest tier chest.
Mm-hmm.
So someone did the math. As a UIM, I believe them because no one else does the math like that.
No one wants to.
So it would take roughly 500 of the gold chest unlocks in order to complete the collection log.
Yeah.
It would take 10 times as many in order to get enough redwood logs for all of the items.
So I'm expecting something to be changed, probably.
Yeah, so I
They
don't
haven't
know.
said anything, but I feel like next week we'll hear about that.
Yeah, so there is a lot of unhappy UIMs about
I
this.
did say something about like redwoods and saying how it would take forever, and I was like, okay, I don't really know what's happening.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you are a UIM, there's no fixes for this yet because all of these items do require some form of noted log, and you cannot turn in unnoted logs at all.
Yeah, you can't like go and stack them up over time.
Also, apparently the interaction with log baskets is very inconvenient if you have it worn on your back.
Really? Okay.
In that you have to, because you can put 28 in there.
Yeah, we're going to mention in a second. The log basket, the first item, it could hold 28 logs of any type.
Exactly, just like the fish barrel.
Yeah.
But unlike the fish barrel, you have to take it off your back, put it into your inventory, take the items out of the backpack, put it into the bank, and then take another one out of the backpack. Actually, you have to do like a specific thing where you like click on the backpack and then click on the bank, and then it gives you it. So you have to do that twice in order to take the logs out. It's actually more efficient to just leave it in your inventory.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm assuming that will also be changed then, because the whole point is to make it easier.
Maybe fish barrel still works that way.
Yeah. So the log basket, though, can be grabbed for 5,000 anima-infused bark, 300 noted willow logs, and 300 noted magic logs.
Yeah, that's actually kind of a lot of magic logs. But it does allow you to store 28 additional logs of various types.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty nice.
You've got the easy fill and check options to make managing your inventory a breeze. But like I said,
unless you use the log brace on it to make it a backpack, which apparently makes it weird.
Yeah, so the log basket itself works well, but if you use the log brace, which we're about to go over, it may make your interactions a little less than desirable. So make sure to keep that in mind before you go ahead and make it. It is going to cost you 3,000 anima infused bark, 300 maple logs, 300 yew logs, and make sure to remember all of these logs we mentioned are noted specifically. But if you don't want to take up additional space in your inventory with the log basket, simply grab the log brace and combine it with the forestry kit and log basket to create a wearable version with the best bits of both items. So also, I think I mistakenly said the fish barrel you can't deposit all at once or something like that, but
I don't know because I don't own one.
I think that one works fine. I think I was thinking of the fish barrel cape maybe, but feel free to correct me because
I also don't have that.
I'll never own that. Also, in order to make the log brace, you are gonna have quite a few requirements in addition to buying it. In order to make the all-in-one forestry kit, you'll need 75 smithing and 75 wood cutting with 45 nails, 2 ropes, and 3 adamantite bars, which is a pretty high requirement.
Yeah, that is actually. Next up is the lumberjack outfit. So if you are too worried about going to temple trekking, don't even worry about it. You could buy the outfit from the forestry shop. The full set grants you a total of 2.5% more woodcutting XP, so it is definitely worth picking up. So you can buy the items individually. Robert, do some quick math for me, please, because I really don't want to go over each individual item. There's 4 items.
Yeah, so for all 4 items, you're going to need 5,000 anima infused bark, as well as 620 yew logs, as well as 360 magic logs, and 120 redwoods for the top.
That was quick maths. If it's wrong, no, it wasn't.
Yep, exactly.
Also, kind of an upgrade to that, there is the new forestry outfit. So if you don't like the look of the flannel, there's this cute little, kind of like gnomish looking outfit.
Yeah,
Actually,
very
cute.
gnome elf hybrid.
Yeah, whenever we saw the picture last week for the first time, Robert was like, "Oh, they show some gnomes sitting here," and then we're like, "Oh, those are people."
Yeah.
But each piece of the outfit recolor rather, will cost $12.50 anima infused bark, the appropriate lumberjack outfit piece, and 60 of the following logs.
Which is every log.
Every log, except for like not blister wood and hollow.
Yeah. Then we have the clothes pouch. So this is the item that everyone wished worked everywhere and for everything, but it doesn't.
I think that it will eventually.
If you're really attached to your current fashionscape, we have the product for you. The clothes pouch will let you gain all the benefits of the lumberjack outfit while wearing whatever outfit you like. Do note that other set bonuses will override whatever is in your clothes pouch. If you're wearing a graceful top, the benefit of the lumberjack top in your clothes pouch will be ignored, and so on. A lot of people were really upset about this, actually, because they're saying, like, they wear the...
that could be their fashionscape.
Yeah, exactly. Like, thieves' clothes are part of their fashionscape, or maybe...
That's true. I didn't even consider that.
Yeah, maybe, like, I forgot the name of it, but the upgraded fishing outfit. Like, a lot of people use the headband from that specifically because it's blue.
So maybe they should do the opposite. Instead of prioritizing what you're wearing, prioritize what's in your bag.
That's what someone was suggesting, which
Yeah.
hopefully they change. Because this is an expensive grab.
Or you could, like, maybe toggle on and off which one it's choosing. I don't know, because I could see people from both sides wanting it to be different.
I think a single line of code would be helpful on this, but I doubt we'll get it anytime soon.
Yeah, we'll see.
Like I said, this is an expensive grab, being 10,000 anima infused bark,
A couple.
300 willow, 300 maple, and those, of course, are going to be noted. And on top of that, you're going to need thread, leather, 50 crafting, and 50 wood cutting, which are
Not
actually,
the highest requirements.
Yeah, kind of lower requirements, which is nice, but it is very expensive still.
The next one is the one that I probably love the most. I don't know if you've seen the recolors yet.
I've seen some of them.
I'm going to show you. So the funky shaped log. So this funky shaped log is a one-time unlock, but you can use it to change your beaver pet's color. Once your pet has gobbled this up, you can change it to be any color anytime that you like. This item can be yours for 15,000 anima infused bark and 500 of the following logs, every log.
Yes.
As an added bonus, because we know that there was no way to obtain noted Arctic pine logs, the ice trolls that can be found north of Jatizo and Neatsnot now drop that item. Convenient.
Yeah. So it's funny they added that, but not the redwood.
Which makes me think that maybe they're going to do the redwood later.
Maybe they didn't do the math like that one guy.
Whoa, you may be wondering what's happened to that two-handed axe we're talking about. We made the decision to move this reward to the second part of the update so we can correctly adjust your feedback regarding this hefty new reward.
I like how they're
Wait, I didn't read that line.
Yeah, I like how they're willy-nilly like, oh, this is going to be a really cool axe. That's why we didn't have it in the beta. That didn't
By the way,
exist.
it's not here.
And also, just kidding, because that sucked. We're going to put it in the next one.
I read the notes, but I was like skimming through that because I thought they were just talking about the log, so I didn't even read that line.
No.
But before we move on,
200X is not in the game.
Before we move on, I'm showing Robert the picture of the beavers and we're choosing a favorite.
Magic.
Okay, but here's the other ones.
Magic.
Okay, the magic's cute. It's like the grayish wood color with
I think it just looks
blue
weird.
feet and tail. My favorite's the Arctic pine because it's all white. It looks like a little white ferret.
Okay, she
Specifically,
just saw a little white ferret.
Nunella has a white ferret and she showed on her stream and I was like, it looks like the Arctic pine beaver.
All
I'm in
right.
love.
So something that people were actually looking forward to is Forestry Part 2. Forestry Part 2 is coming in September. Pretty good month. For those of you who
Best
missed
month.
it, we made the decision to split Forestry into 2 parts so that everything in this massive update can get the attention it needs. This means we're heading straight into the community consultation for the second half of Forestry. We'll be discussing leaves, tertiary effects, campfires, bonfires, tea brewing, new events, new rewards,
Including the two-handed axe.
supposedly including the
They're
two-handed
going to be like,
axe.
part 3 coming December.
They're gonna be like, actually, we're removing this.
Stop.
Balancing and feedback changes. So the schedule so far is they have the Discord stage calls on Friday the 30th, Forestry Part 2 community consultation news post on Friday the 7th,
July 7th.
July 7th. Discord Stage Calls Part 2 on July 7th as well. And then finally, Forestry Part 2 poll, hopefully between July 12th and 19th.
Cool.
So you have something to look forward to. And if you don't want something to look forward to, if you just want to look at something right now that's interesting, Hanani actually has a pretty cool, huge woodcutting update video out. So make sure to check that out.
With RuneScape. Not even her video, yeah.
Yeah, actually featuring Hanani. So
I like that they've been doing so much stuff with content creators.
Yeah.
The next thing is actually the same thing. They collabed with Witchcrafty, who makes the Peepo comments, to do like a little introduction to forestry. I thought it was cute. You could also see Hanani's little character is in the comic for it.
Yeah.
But it's just people walking around and be like, hey, what you guys doing? And his little bronze trimmed armor, being a little cutie.
I think it's actually pretty cool because they have like a 1 HP Darok. Also
I didn't even catch on to those
and
stuff.
then I don't even know, that looks like kind of like a maxed character and then a bot in the background.
Yeah.
So
I think the other person's supposed to be recognizable too, but I don't recognize them. I just recognize Hanani because her character's outfit's like iconic, kind of.
Yeah, no one knows anyone else in these comics.
I'm sure other people do, but the comic's super cute and actually very what's the word? Informative.
Yeah, very informative. So if you want a cool way to check out the notes, instead of listening to us, you can check this out as well.
And again, I also have a RuneScape video on it, so check that out too.
Yeah. If you actually don't know what she said because she's really mumbly, there's a new RuneScape video out that we made about this update. Some other changes, though, is the Pride event has ended. Now, nobody is allowed to think about love for a whole year. Just kidding. You can unlock any Pride-themed goodies that you missed from Gilbert, southeast of the Barbarian Village. Thanks to everyone who took part, and especially in the Pride Parade. In other news,
Which they keep doing so early. They're literally out to get me.
It's almost like they're on UK time. In other news, we made a couple of improvements to the Escape Crystal. Firstly, there's now a visual and textual indication to tell players when the crystal is activated or deactivated. Secondly, right-click now allows players to toggle the auto-teleport feature on and off. This can be used whether the crystal is worn or in your inventory. And lastly, over at the Guardians of Rift, a convenient chisel has begun spawning near the cell table. In addition, Cordelia now has a right-click option for pouch. Thank goodness. Cordelia has a right-click option for pouch repairs. Holy.
Do you have to talk to her before?
You had to talk to her every time.
Ew.
And you had to go through the entire
Cordelia, God,
thing.
you're so clingy.
And then she like talks to the old wizard and he's like, I hate you. And then he repairs your things from like, remote desktop, just logs in and repairs your stuff for you. So that's really nice. If you don't know what I mean, you're not a GIM or you're not an IM. So
they also mentioned the narrative survey, which we kind of brought before. So they need you to help us determine our future plans for the story of OSRS. Quest and narrative are really important to us, and previously we gathered some feedback in the annual survey. The survey aims to get into the nitty-gritty of narrative. We want feedback from as many players as possible, whether you're a verified lorehound or a serial space bar smasher. We want to hear from you, so go ahead, check that out, respond to it. Probably I should do that because I've heard some weird lore stuff from RuneScape 3 that I guess I should make sure it doesn't happen.
Sure. Yeah, so if you are concerned about that, there is a survey, so make sure to get over and do that.
Yeah.
But that is it for the actual update this week. Overall, pretty good update.
So much things happening. I love it.
So make sure to do all the polls and all the surveys. But with that being said, we can move on to our last segment, which of course, as always, is the questions.
Yeah. So the beginning of our Q&A, I want to talk a little bit about last week. We said, like, what's your RuneScape hot take? You said RuneScape isn't hard.
Yeah.
I was asking Chad about that. I have some thoughts on it. So Wraith said, depends on how you define hard. Like, grinding for max cape is not very technical at all. It's within everyone's ability, but some would say it's hard because it takes time.
Sure.
I think it's hard still.
Just like digging a hole is hard because it takes a lot of time.
Yeah. Okay, let's manual labor. That's actually pretty different. Lost Boy said, I think it's hard to be great at everything in this game. Like, solo top's different from speedy duos or speedy solo CMs. And then you have PvP and the different styles of PvP. And then you have the different breeds who do Inferno under 43 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, thoughts on that? Are those hard now?
Literally nothing you could say
oh
could
my
convince
God.
me.
And then Jay Beatty said, it's not hard 99% of the time. 1% of the time, it's the hardest thing ever.
Oh, okay.
Thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know. Just,
no. You're so funny.
Yeah, I don't know.
I got a couple other hot takes from people that I'll go over real quick, though. Villain thinks that all sorts of boosting should be removed from the game. And that's not, I thought they meant like boosting skills like with pies. And I was like, oh, it's kind of random. They meant more like paying for irons and stuff.
Yeah.
So they said, I think it just ruins the integrity of the game. I think about it more since Bounty Hunters boosting got called out for being bannable, but Irons being able to buy raid items or people boosting boss KCs, I think is just BS.
Yeah, I agree. They've had boosting that's been allowed in World of Warcraft for so long, and they're like, as long as you're paying with gold and not real life money, which you can easily exchange,
Yeah.
is okay. And I'm all like, how is this, like, you guys are like just allowing this to happen, but they allow it because they sell, just like RuneScape, bonds essentially. So they make money either way.
I thought it was really interesting. Okay, so I don't really have an opinion on the boosting. I don't care if Irons do that. But the first time someone in our chat actually like does boosting services and stuff. The first time they mentioned the chat, I wanted to delete their message because I assumed that wasn't allowed in the game.
No, boosting in
It is
almost
allowed.
every game is allowed as long as you use the in-game currency.
Yeah, which they use. They
you
use
cannot
gold.
use cash,
Yeah.
even though, like I said, you can easily convert that.
Yeah, I was actually so surprised. I wanted to be like, oh, they're offering like services that are bannable. And then I found out, no, you're allowed to do that. And I was like, oh, it's kind of weird. Surprising.
Yeah, it's really, really common.
Yeah. Some other things. Someone said how they voted no for the GE. That was Lilapa. I don't know if they're saying their name correctly. The final hot take that I have. Excalibur said, UIM should not be catered to because they chose to make the game harder on themselves.
I agree.
Dang, cold.
I agree that for all specific like things, it'd be like, that'd be the same as like changing the desert for any desert locked Iron Man. It's like you
no longer die of thirst.
That'd be like, you're choosing to be in prison. You can leave anytime you want. They're like, nah, it sucks in here. I love it. It's like,
wait, is that the Iron Life?
That is literally the Iron Locked life.
Oh my god, that's funny. But yeah, now we can move on to our new questions. But I was happy to get some more people's thoughts on those.
Yeah.
I was annoyed. Trying not to argue with people, everyone who didn't immediately say that it's hard. Oh, wait, I actually had one more person who said that it is hard.
Oh, okay.
I totally forgot about this. Someone commented on our YouTube version of the podcast saying it, and this is how it got brought up on stream, because I was like, oh yeah, someone commented and had thoughts. So, if you are listening right now, shout out to Your Log from YouTube, who said, I absolutely can't agree with this game is easy. I really can't handle 85% of PvE content, and I'm never going to have a lot of things because I can't do it for the money, which everyone else can. I don't have the wit or persistence to learn things like Gauntlet, even with it being free to learn. I do not have the money I need to scale because I don't do major money makers. Highest value drop I've ever gotten was 3 to 4 Zenite over time, and other than that, I won't ever be getting many things, which would hand me buyable 99s because the game is difficult. And I was like, yes, another person who thinks it's hard. Thank you.
Yeah, so
Robert's gonna start some drama with this YouTube commenter.
I mean, I don't care. Like I said, I think this is just funny. But everything this person mentioned, as well as a lot of things everyone else mentioned, are all time gated. They're not skill gated. This person said a lot of this stuff because they don't have the time. They literally even say that.
But it could be hard because
persistence is time.
Listen, all week we have brought this up like in our personal lives multiple times this week, and every time Robert starts talking, I'm like, I can't talk to you about this. I can't talk to you about this.
I haven't brought it up. Michelle's brought it up.
Yeah, no, I was very triggered by this hot take.
Very few things in this game take any amount of skill and not just time. And no one has listed pretty much any of them. So we can continue. And I will continue to have my hot take, I guess.
I had one more hot take by Harger, actually, before I go into the question by him. My hottest take is that anyone who's a skiller and doesn't do PvP or PvM is depressed and should quit RuneScape to find a new hobby and friends group. That's legitimately meant as advice and not a diss. I sincerely think that if someone just clicks on a screen at a low-quality image of a tree or rock, that person's depressed and addicted.
I think
Robert even responds saying, I feel personally attacked.
I agree to a certain extent. Like if you like play 10 hours a day and you're already like 200 mil or something, then it's like, all right, maybe you should like go do something else.
I disagree. I mean, everyone just has different things that they think is fun. They could think it's relaxing.
Sure, for 10 hours a day, yeah, sure. I guess you need that much relaxation. But
you know what's funny? I was gonna be like, well, you've just been doing stuff like that, and I was like, oh man, you've also been pretty depressed lately.
Yeah, crazy.
Goes hand in hand.
And I stopped playing. I'm less depressed. Who would have thought?
Oh my god, stop it. But Ivor did say being depressed and addicted to RuneScape is what we live for, which is true.
Truly, yes.
All right, moving on to a question. Sorry. Harger's question: what is the absolute most soothing thing for you to do in OSRS if you're feeling stressed?
That's funny because that's
Harger, please. After the hot take you just said.
Yeah, it's funny because that's the opposite hot take.
Yeah. Personally, I like to walk in the desert. Sounds weird, but just walking around where no one is makes me feel relaxed. Maybe it's because I'm never really alone in a city of 1.9 mil. Maybe it's because I'm never really hot in an Austrian city, and at least by desert heat standards. It's definitely because of OSRS music.
Wait, so you're saying it's okay to just hit a
Oh,
rock for 10
okay.
hours?
No, it's not okay to hit a rock.
No, it's not. But then if you just walk in a fake desert, that's fine.
I want to confront Harger right now. Which one is it? Wait,
I
is
think
this
both
Harger's
are
way of
funny.
saying that they're depressed?
Yeah. I think both are funny.
I do think that your hot take is very contradictory to your question.
True.
But for me, a really soothing thing that I like to do is hang out in Lumbridge. Like when I've been doing a lot of Slayer boosting this week for bingo, and whenever I have like spiders or goblins or cows or chickens, I think it's fun. Oh, Robert's really judging me. Okay, what do you think soothing?
Honestly, the most satisfying part of
Forecast.
this whole game to me is specifically whenever you get like whatever it is, like 25 fishing, and you go to the fishing spot next to Barbarian Village.
Oh, it's really chill there.
That spot is sick because then
and
you
then
go
the fire right there.
Exactly. So you get
and
a
the
full.
bank's pretty close if you want to bank too.
We don't do that.
I
So we
used to
get
do
a
that.
full inventory. Cook all those mugs, and then you got like XP just going crazy. You're like you go from like 40 total level if you just like go straight there
to 99.
You just got like 80, 90 levels in like one day. It looks crazy.
That place is so chill. Actually, I do love it there.
Yeah, the place is cool.
So our next question is from Matt on Instagram. How would you feel about a new potion with the benefit of increasing range of vision? It will increase the size of your in-game minimap by a small percentage, and the render distance of the interface is also slightly increased. The potion is created with a special herb only found in Tirnwyn. This is why the elves are better archers. They regularly eat something that increases their range of vision. You know what's funny is I feel like they would like to add something like this, but they probably can't because they're coding.
They certainly can't.
They literally cannot do this.
Yeah,
because
definitely not.
I feel like your field of vision in the game is not great. Like I have it on so my minimap can be bigger, like with rune light. But still, it doesn't like render all the time.
Yeah.
So I think this would be good. I think it's literally impossible if they can't do that. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I think this is impossible. I think it would be interesting, although not super helpful.
I think the mini map would be better, so that you can like kind of, if you're like running around somewhere really far, you could just click and like.
Yeah, or for PvP that'd be cool.
True. You could run away more.
You would just see the names on the map sooner, so that'd be cool.
True. Yeah, like I have the thing, so it renders more on my mini map, but like in the wilderness, the names still render at the same distance because it's like impossible.
Yeah. Oh, and also this did give me a really cool idea, and I was thinking because they were thinking about like the longer range thing, and I was like, it'd be cooler if you could have longer range bows, and then I was thinking
something you should give that.
It would be really cool if it gave you longer range. And on top of that, you did more damage the further away from a target you were, but also increased damage taken.
Ooh, that seems like it'd be a PvP thing.
Like proportionately.
Yeah.
So like if you did like, I don't know, 20% more damage at the furthest range, you'd also take 20% more damage. But it was a potion, so it's not like a gear investment thing.
Oh, that's cool. That would actually be pretty sick.
It would definitely be busted by a lot of people's standards, but I mean,
it'd be kind of interesting to say.
I don't know the statistics of it. I just invented this, but I think the idea is cool.
Yeah. We also have one real life question from Matt. Austria is discussing the possibility of a 32-hour work week. Just would like to say I'm jealous.
Yeah.
First of all, right now the standard legal work contract is 38.5 hours. The idea is either to work 8 hours 4 days a week or work about 6 hours 5 days a week. What would you do if you had the choice?
Yeah, so here
8 hours 4 days for sure.
Yeah, here the standard work week is 8 hours a day 5 days a week, 40 hours total. And
even having that hour and a half off extra would be so cool that they have right now.
I've discussed it with coworkers before, and all of us would take 4 days a week at 10 hours each.
Mm-hmm. I have a family member who's like a nurse, and she does that where she works part-time, but she only works 2 days a week for 12-hour shifts.
I would even go as far as like I would just increase it like continually.
Yeah.
Like I would even
2 days.
I would take 3 days at 12 hours each if that was an option.
True.
I might even, if you gave me the option between what we have now and 4 days a week at 12 hours each, I might take the 4 days a week at 12 hours each.
It would still be more work, but at least you'd have those 3 days off in a row.
3 days off is so incredibly
huge.
Big.
It's huge.
People that don't like have regular hours like Monday through Friday seriously underestimate it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely that one.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. Yeah.
The extra day is big.
And also having 40-hour work weeks as a standard is like actually so messed.
Yeah, true. But that's about it for this week. Hopefully you all liked it. And if you want to be in next week's episode for a question or for whatever,
Or just
then
say hi and request a shout out.
yeah, feel free to get in touch with us on any of our socials, especially our Discord, discord.gg/Bunebape. We have a questions channel. Feel free to hang out or talk about anything else. We kind of just talk about literally anything. It's more of like a hangout spot.
Yes.
But we also have socials, right?
So our Twitter and TikTok are both Bunebapeosrs. Our Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram are all just Bunebape. I post shorts every single night, and I stream 5 days a week at twitch.tv/Bunebape. So come say hi to me and watch me get purples because we've been getting a lot of purples lately.
Yeah, or feel free to join as well.
Yeah, you could join the raids as well, but we do splits.
Yes, we do splits. Thanks again for watching or listening. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. And if you did, we'll see you all
Very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.